So this is Mike Merlin Means of Merlin Public Media, and tonight we're recording another episode of our most popular show, Talking Shit with Merlin. And tonight with me is...
I'm Jorde Young, also known as Capt Vycis from Twitch.tv.
Very cool. So what's up, man?
Not a whole, well, I mean a whole lot, but not a whole lot new, just still a lot of the same thing.
Yeah, I get that part.
Yeah, try to make your presence known.
Believe me, that's my everyday battle with this station. Trying to get it out there.
Oh, fair enough. That's been my biggest holdback too. So that's why I spend so much time on Twitter nowadays.
I've just gotten on there with this. I'm on Facebook, of course, and Twitter and Instagram. And as of today, we have 45 videos on YouTube.
All right.
And they are all of the interviews, and then I'm posting the old London calling shows from way back in the day.
Oh, very nice. I'll have to check that out then. You and I used to talk about that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, we did I don't know, maybe
guys while I figure out I have to
5 or 6 months ago we did I gathered all the guys from the show.
The servers
and we did a
what days that the servers are up because it's still alpha
conversation amongst all of the co-hosts and stuff. And I can hear wifey in the background.
Oh yeah, she's right here. She's got sound proofing between us, but you know how far that goes.
About as far as you can throw it.
Exactly. It's better than it was.
Yeah.
I will be quiet if it's necessary.
I would really appreciate it.
Was I being too loud?
It's coming through on his recording. He's asking if you could tone it down a little bit.
Okay, so it's recording, it's not live. Is that why I'm not finding it?
Yes.
Yes.
I was trying on Merlin Public Media to find it.
I understand. Yeah, I just found out too. Sorry, I was letting her know.
That's okay. This is why we do. I don't cut, edit, or censor anything.
Fair enough.
This just goes out, and it's internet radio, so you don't have those pesky profanity laws. So
right. Oh God, thankful God for that. On my stream, if there was any kind of profanity laws, I would have been banned the moment I turned it on.
Oh, I'm sure. Especially a gaming stream. I mean, geez.
Oh yes, and we do mostly PvP or player versus player stuff. So there's a lot of cursing. There's a lot of nasty names. We're mean. Well,
I mean, they're battle type games for the most part. I'm assuming then.
Yes, they are.
So yeah, you're gonna get upset with the other player. So yeah, that's how it goes.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I even got the wifey started on some of these kinds of games, and she's even into these battle games now. So yeah, there's lots of cursing and profanity going on nowadays.
Yeah, what I normally say to people when they ask me about that is, I don't really give a fuck how many fucking times you fucking say fuck. It's internet radio.
Right.
And, go from there. So, what do you want to talk about, man?
I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, we do a little podcast where we go through the weird news.
Really?
And yeah. It's been on hold a little bit lately, but we're hoping to pick it up again this Sunday. So we go through the news and we look at all the weird stuff, like all the Guinness Book of World Records that happen on what seemed to be a daily basis.
See, and I've been thinking about doing something with TV commercials.
Okay.
And calling out their bullshit.
I mean, fair.
Product X has 1,000 uses. Let me know what they are, please.
Yeah, don't just tell me about them. Tell me what they are.
Give me facts. Don't give me generalizations. The best thing on the planet for whatever X problem is. Really? Where's your proof?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to call them out.
I agree with you. Hell yeah.
That should be fun.
Absolutely. And we actually watch another guy that does something similar. He does the old, do you remember the How It's Made videos?
Yeah.
he takes those and he makes a completely off the wall version of it, and he's absolutely hilarious. So I'm sure if you take apart those the commercials and just rip them up for all their BS,
Sure.
that would be great.
Yeah, that's something I'm looking at doing. It might be a good time, and and just because of that, if I have a recording of the commercial, I mean, it's fair use because, well, we're tearing it apart.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So that would kill any legal issues.
Oh, for sure. I'm the same way. All the music and images that I use are the same way too. There's so many images out there for people to use. There's so many videos, so many commercials that nobody's going to use for anything other than this very thing. Why not?
And I went through the bother of I'm paying for licensing for my radio station.
Awesome.
Because, well, I mean, I'm the son of a bitch who get caught.
Fair.
So I broadcast through Live 365, and they cover my licensing in the US, the UK, and Canada, and everything else is blocked.
Fair enough.
So that, I mean, it costs more. I mean, it costs considerably more.
Oh, no, I mean today.
But, it's a cover your ass move, and that's kind of important.
Oh, for sure. We went to actually one of the big conventions for streamers, TwitchCon. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I've heard of it.
Okay. So Kitten, Tasha, actually went to TwitchCon this last year and went out there to San Diego, and that's how we hooked up on all this. So anytime you can get yourself out there and get your butt covered by somebody, it's great.
Yeah.
And actually, as I mentioned to that, that's one of the things that Kitten and I have actually got. That's her nickname, by the way, now is Kitten. You'll hear me say that a lot.
Hi, Kitten.
Yeah, he says, hi, Kitten. And but we want to get your name out there a little bit too, so expect to be seen a lot on Twitter if you use it.
I do.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I tweeted you out here actually just a few minutes ago. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh, no, I haven't yet. I did an audio check here, and I grabbed a quick bite to eat, and then sent you the link, and here we are.
Here we are.
And we're just kind of flying along by the seat of our proverbial pants. And, I do this because it's fun. I can't do what I used to do. So this is where I went.
Well, if it helps any, it lives on in me because your lighting techniques have helped me and Kitten in both of our streams. And we owe you a round of applause for that, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not doing, well, my lighting gear's all been purchased.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on selling most of my cameras, and then I'm going to go sell my audio gear, and I need to buy a better system for the station. The station itself, when I'm running it here, is running on an antique Windows 7 Toshiba laptop.
Okay.
But, it's getting me through, and we're going to be doing a fundraiser here in December and try and pick up some. The big plan, I'm going to babble for a minute.
Please.
The big plan is to do this. I have the one station and I like it. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to have a classical station, a jazz station, an oldie station, a country station.
Yeah.
And I can run all of these. But what I'm going to need is I don't want to do advertising because advertising sucks.
Right.
I want to do sponsors, and I want to mention the sponsors on the station ID breaks.
Okay.
And other than the station ID breaks, it's going to be 24/7 music.
Fair enough. That is awesome.
And, looking for individuals and small businesses to, title sponsorship. Now I'm letting the cat out of the bag because I wasn't going to do this for another couple weeks.
Oh, you're hearing it here.
Title sponsorship would be something to the effect of Merlin Public Media's Jazz, brought to you by.
Fair.
And then Secondary sponsorships would be like, I'll come up with something fancier, but with additional support from.
Yeah.
But the station itself will be more or less named after the title sponsor. And that's it. You'll hear 45 seconds or so 6 times a day. And the rest of it is music.
Like, I don't.
Keeping true to the music. I love that.
Yeah, and, okay, let's do this too. I'm sitting here, I'm talking about it. Title sponsorship per station, $200 a month.
Fair enough. That's a steal at that.
It is. And, that covers my expenses and puts a little bit in my pocket. And I do mean a little bit of that. But, and I don't know how much you've listened to. I do small business, I do arts, I do artists, I do musicians and bands and events, and just it's fun.
Yeah. Well, and that's what it's supposed to be.
It is.
Yeah, she seems to be.
Anything that becomes a job is no longer a career. It's just a job.
And I mean, if you're working for yourself, it's even worse because you got nobody to bitch to.
Oh, I've gotten employees now, and I bitch to them.
Oh, well, look at you.
Yeah, they have to listen to it, so it works.
Mr. Big Time, huh?
I mean, we're working on it. We're preparing for the growth is all we're doing.
Yeah.
With the company we hooked up with, they basically told us, we want you guys to produce content and entertainment, and we're going to make you guys famous. And we're like, oh, okay.
I can work with that. Yeah, that sounds okay to me.
Yeah. So, do you mind if I drop their name?
No, please. This is what this is all about.
Okay. So the game that we're looking at is a game called Metalcore, and it is a first-person shooter and vehicle combat game in which you take the role of the pilot, and you get to hunt other players and NPCs that you get to kill to get various stuff, to get bigger, better weapons. And the game itself is absolutely amazing for being an Alpha 1, and it's not even open to the public yet. It's still Alpha 1. And
wow, not even beta.
Not even beta yet. It's amazing. Wow. So, and you can always check it out at my site at twitch.tv/Capt Vycis, CAPTVYCIS. And you can see the game before it's even fully released. They've only given out a couple thousand. That sounds like a lot. A couple thousand.
No, it's not. I know
it's
that.
Not. Yeah, because we've got 3 servers. We have European Union, Asia, and American servers, or North American servers. So it goes a long way. Uh-oh.
Oh, geez. That's the school.
Uh-oh, do you need a break?
Juanita will pick it up.
Okay, fair enough.
If she comes in and interrupts me, then I'm going to have to do something. Yeah. We now have our grandson with us permanently.
Yes. You were mentioning that.
And sometimes he's a good kid and sometimes he's a kid. And, you just never quite know what to make of all of that some days.
Oh, believe me, I know all too well.
Yes, I know you do.
Oh, they have gotten so big.
Yeah.
I got to get some pictures out to you. You haven't seen them since they were bald-headed little kids.
No, I haven't.
So now they're full talking, babbling, counting, reading.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It has been a few years.
It has. 7 years since they were born as of this most recent October. And that would put you and I at seeing each other last 6 years ago.
About that, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've been working for the same damn company ever since.
Really?
Yeah. I've found a spot, I guess.
Well, if you're comfortable with it and the income is all right, then yeah, go for it.
Oh God, it's top dollar income for actually back there where you're at. I make over the poverty level finally.
And that's a reach for almost all of us these days. Us regular folk.
Oh yes. But I did fall into the corporate universe though too. I'm in a big bank.
Okay.
But all I do is I look at their numbers. I'm a business analyst, officer level, so I just look at numbers and be like, "Yep, everything's working."
Okay.
So, but I love my job. I get to work 2 hours a day, play video games for 6 hours a day. I work from home.
Oh, see, that's glorious.
Oh yes, it's so amazing. And I have a company and people that I work with that are just absolutely amazing people. They're there to help, and they're not there to screw people over. And I love that about them.
It's a rare find. I'm glad you got it.
It is. It is. So big difference from the casino life.
Oh, yeah.
We both know too much about that.
I do miss commercial kitchens some days, but basically for the equipment that I had at my hand.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
You know, go ahead.
Okay.
Well, I was just going to say, I said the same thing not much more than a month ago. I'm like, I really miss the theater simply because I'd love to borrow some of those lights.
Yeah.
I run a green screen, so lighting is not my friend.
Yeah.
But I'm old.
The name of the band, and they are no longer together, was the Blood Orange Project.
Okay.
The band leader and the guitarist have both left us.
Oh. That's sad.
My friend Paul, who was the keyboard player, producer, engineer, et cetera, he does some music. I worked with him and another guy in a production company for a few years, and I went my way and they went theirs. The big hang up was they wanted to do studio and I wanted to do live.
Fair enough.
Give me the audience feedback, please.
Right. I like live too. I couldn't do what I do without having those people in my chat talking back, saying, "Hi, yes, this is amazing." Or,
yeah, you need the feedback, and good and bad feedback. I mean, as long as it's honest feedback, you can work with it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if you've got 100% positive feedback, I tell these when I used to do websites, if you have 100% positive feedback on your website, people will know right now you're lying.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You got to let the bad slip through.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't be amazing if you don't have some faults. Then you're just a face.
Yeah. Yeah, it's life. You can't please everybody.
Right. It took me a long ass time to realize that too.
Yeah. yeah. I've been there, done that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's we're coming to the end of this year's political cycle, and I've lost a number of friends. And that's about all I'm going to say about it is, agree to disagree. Okay, fine. I can do that. If you can't, sorry.
Right. Like, life is too short to fight over who's in charge of what.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to live it. Life still needs to be lived, even though we have a cell phone in our hand.
See, I'm that weird guy, okay? I come in the door, my cell phone goes on my nightstand, and I don't pick it up until I go to leave the house again.
And I'm the polar opposite. I'm so connected now. Like, when I'm not at my computer or one of my computers, I have my cell phone on me. But I do a lot of social media now and a lot of advertising. I talk to a lot of people, and I try to make sure that my stage name is as well known as humanly possible. So I use a lot of social media. Like, I'm sure you've noticed, I'm not on Facebook like I used to be.
No, you're not.
No. I got very upset with the way people were, and I just decided I wasn't going to use it anymore until I started streaming, and then now I need the advertisement. So
yes, we
it
really
has
have to do. I would leave Facebook in a minute, but that's where I get. Even back when I was doing my lighting and photography and all that stuff, that's where I get most of my contacts. That's where I got most of my business.
Oh, absolutely. It's a wonderful resource if used properly.
Yes.
So it's just the hard part, that one part that's always fallible, and that is if used properly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I use Facebook to reconnect with old friends, and I use it to advertise. But most of the time, you'll find me on Twitter nowadays, just because of how quick things move, and you can get your advertisements out there and seen by thousands in a matter of minutes, in compared to Facebook, where it's a much slower advertisement.
It's a slower process, indeed. Yes.
Yeah. And with YouTube blowing up, though, that seems to be the place to really get your attention.
It does. I say I have 40 some videos, but they are not, in the true sense of a word, a video. They are an audio track and a static image, because I don't do videos on my interviews.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's there, and it's slow coming. But if you're in a hurry, don't do this kind of stuff.
Right. No. I mean, and I would even say the same thing in the streaming world, because if you are expecting to start a stream and have 2,000 followers, I'm sitting at about 400 followers and an average of 10 people per show, and I've been doing this for 3 years now.
Yeah.
So it's not super fast by any means, but it's a lot of fun along the way.
And that's it.
Yep.
You can have fun and try and build something and learn from, excuse me, learn from your own mistakes, and, find some people that are doing it right, and, pay attention to them, and learn, because it changes constantly.
It does. As a matter of fact, I'll go into this. I'm a CC for 2 different games, or content creator, official content creator.
Okay.
One is for a game called Sea of Thieves, which 2 years ago was huge. It's where all the big streamers were coming out of, and we were really making a name for ourselves at the time. And then the bottom just dropped, and you have to learn a whole new game. And luckily this time we picked up with an alpha.
So I know really nothing about the online gaming world. I never got into it. I was always doing other things. So for people like me who are not into it, or even who are considering getting into it, tell me about that. What's it like? What do you do? I mean, I know pretty much nothing.
I mean, it's the same basic concept as any media source, even as radio. The music is there, but it's not the content. The content is the person you're listening to.
Mm-hmm.
And in the streaming world, it's the same thing. Like, people will show up because, oh, I like this game. Let's see how this person plays it. But they're not there to watch you play or to judge you on your play. They're here to hear that. They are there to see you and hear you do what you do. For instance, I take a very cocky approach, as I'm sure does not surprise you.
No one bit.
And so I play fast-paced games where I get to annoy people. The game I play most is MechWarrior Online, and I play a mech called Pirate's Bane, which its sole intention is to get behind somebody and shoot them up the butt. And that is
not entirely, what's the word I'm looking for here? Honorable?
I mean, whilst I agree with you, it's the difference between a 6-year-old kid and about a 30-year-old bodybuilder.
Okay.
So even though, yes, it's not honorable to shoot somebody in the back, if they turn around and shoot me, I'm dead.
That's true.
And it is really that quick. So I spend a lot of time yelling at my enemies, hollering at them, doing whatever I can to get their attention, and I want them to shoot at me so they turn their back on the rest of my team.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and the streaming world is just that. It's what kind of fun things can you produce on your screen? What kind of fun phrases can you say? And it's just a matter of making yourself entertaining and letting yourself out. I'm a big time stickler for if you're not enjoying the game, you shouldn't be playing it.
Uh-huh.
And so for me, I always tell people that, remember, you're not playing a game for content. You are the content while playing a game.
Yes.
And to just do what you enjoy, because nobody enjoys seeing somebody sit there, stare at a screen and be quiet. They enjoy somebody there who's talking to them, who's interacting with their world around them. And it's entertainment. It's all it is. It's no different than being on a podcast or a radio show for that matter. It's a matter of what you bring to the party.
I think I understand that. So let me ask you just a couple tech questions.
Sure.
Real quick. What kind of bandwidth you need to do? Because these games, they're streaming bi-directional video.
Yep.
What kind of connection you need?
Believe it or not, it's not that bad. We have a basic plan. I think we get 10 megs. We get, I think it's 10 to 12 megs up or down and 4 up.
Okay.
And we run it just fine. We even stream simultaneously, Kitten and I.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I expected it to be a serious bandwidth hog.
You know, we expected that too, and it really is. But they've compressed it so well now that you can get it out there and back in without taking up a lot of bandwidth. It's not until you start getting a lot of different things running at the same time. A lot of the newer systems run off of their CPU, the processor more than anything. And so it processes everything, and you just get this packet of data that sends out rather than this big long stream.
Okay.
So they'll send out, like I average, I think 0.05% frame drop in a 6-hour stream. And
wow.
Yeah, next to nothing. And again, that's with Kitten and I both at the same time. So they've really streamlined it a lot. And it's more of a hog on your system than it is
that's
on
what's going to be
your-
my next question.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a good computer. You're not going to be running on my 13-year-old Windows 7 with 4 gigs of RAM.
No. That wouldn't. I mean, it could handle it. It could run it, but you'd have to run very low quality, and your games would be about to match.
Okay.
I run off of an older system myself. It's a home build. It's a MSI X99S Gaming 7 motherboard, which is roughly 7 years old, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then my processor is an i7 5930, which is about 5 years old. And my graphics card is a 1080, which is 4 generations back.
And what's your graphics RAM?
Oh, I run 32 gigabytes of RAM. The graphics RAM, oh God, what is it on a 1080? I want to say it's like 10 gig or 2 gigs, excuse me.
Okay.
But let me check. It is 8 gig, an 8 gig system.
Okay, so that's really not, I mean, there's some money there, but it's not break the bank money.
No. I mean, you can pick up the exact GPU, graphics processor, or graphics card that I have on eBay for about $275.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, not in comparison to some of these. And now that the chip shortage is out too, they're coming down in price. So
it's about damn time.
Yes, it is. Well, and they're also releasing that 40 series now, the 4th gen in the new series. So the 1080s in particular, the 1660s, the 2080s, those are going to go down in price dramatically, and you're going to see them between $6 to $100 per card.
Yeah, that's there's a lot of time I thought about maybe I want to get into this. So and the worry is always, okay, Juanita and I used to play an online game, and honest to God, the damn thing runs in DOS.
Oh, I remember the game.
It's called Trade Wars. We haven't played in a while. The game's been around forever. I mean, it was around in the mid BBS days, say 95, 96.
Fair enough. Yeah.
The game itself has not changed.
Mhm.
What has changed is helper programs
Uh-huh.
and scripts.
Macros.
Yeah. The first one, it was called Swath. And you could write and store, and you could also record a macro while you're doing it. And it's your basic space trader game.
Yeah.
Okay, land on a planet, build it up, harvest what you produce on the planet, take it to a port, sell it. So it's repetitive until you get to battle.
Mhm.
And the first thing they did was you macro those repetitive functions instead of your hands cramping.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
They're lifesavers.
it's amazing now, but we haven't played in a number of years.
Fair enough.
But how much time should one expect to dedicate to a game?
So that's very relative. It depends on how successful you want to be. If you want to play a single player game, and that's what you want to play and that's what you want to stream, it doesn't take much time at all. You're going to spend more time advertising than anything else.
Okay.
But the real action and the real interest when it comes to viewers is in the PvP world, the player versus player.
Right.
And if you perform well, people will come to watch. If you perform exceptionally well, people will come to learn.
Okay.
And so it's really depends on how much you want to really invest. I spend, I would say, probably close to 40 hours a week playing MechWarrior Online.
Okay.
And that includes my streams, of course, too.
Yeah.
But if you were just out there to play a game and to fashion it and to have it as background, you really don't have to invest any time into the game itself, just in whatever you play. A lot of streamers make their big turns off of just that, of unboxing or playing a game first time, especially if it's a brand new game fresh out.
Okay, so I got this game. It looks like it's going to be fun.
Mhm.
How long, this is an average question, how long will it take me not to suck?
So that very question has granted me my most recent phrasing, which is you learn nothing from winning.
I understand that.
Yeah. So for me, depending on the mechanics of the game, MechWarrior Online is an extremely hard one to get used to. And that one for me, it took me a good solid 2 weeks of just almost constant play. I was playing it rather than any other game before I started to see a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like on Metalcore or a lot of these first-person shooters where they're a dime a dozen, they're the same game over and over again, just with different packaging, you're going to find that you pick up on those games really quick, because no matter how many different directions or video games you turn to, they're all the same game, just different graphics.
Okay, so I possibly haven't been hearing you clearly. Are you saying MechWarrior?
MechWarrior, yes.
That was a
MECH.
tabletop RPG in the beginning.
It is, and now it is a series of video games, novels. It's still a tabletop game, and it's getting to be huge.
Yeah, I had a friend that played the tabletop decades ago.
Yep. Oh, I do too. I've got a bunch of miniatures out in my garage. It's
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say it's hell of a lot of fun, and no matter how you turn it, and they've made a video game for every play style of it.
Maybe one day, because I have a bit more time now than I used to.
Well, then I can drop you the best news in the world. The MechWarrior Online, the video game, is absolutely free.
Really?
It is, yes.
Shoot me a link on Facebook later on.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be more than happy to.
So I wanted to check one out, and this is okay. I'm going to compliment you. Forgive me. Most of the other people that I know that game are not down to earth. You're just you're handing me, here's the facts, simple terms for me and the other people listening. And it's going to take you at least 6 months to get the general hang of it, and you got to buy this and this and this and this. And I'm like,
no,
fuck that.
I agree. My favorite part about this game, and this is the way I advertise it, and I do not work, I'm not paid for them or paid by them anything, not sponsored. But when it comes to MechWarrior Online, it's got a huge learning curve, but anybody can learn it in a matter of weeks. It's really just a matter of how much time you want to put into it. And gaming is just enjoying yourself. So that's the biggest part of it.
See, and that is not the case amongst the people I have known.
Oh, goodness, yes.
It's life. This is who I am. This is what I am. This is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a wife and a grandson and chickens and gardens, and that's who I am. That's what I do.
Right. I agree.
And if something else can give me a temporary reality break and let me have some fun and enjoy myself, then okay. But it's never been presented to me as that.
Well, and I think a lot of people, especially with the Twitch craze that happened with the pandemic, I think a lot of people lost that because that was an untapped market, and now it's heavily tapped. You're seeing new streamers, hundreds of new streamers every single day.
So is that okay? Again, teach us. I know about Twitch. I've heard about Twitch. What is it?
I mean, it's YouTube. That's really what it is. It's YouTube with a live stream.
Okay.
You go on there, it's got an image of the person most of the time. Depends on the streamer. Some streamers don't use a camera. I personally do. But you've got the image of the person, you've got the image of their game, you've got a chat box there, and you talk to them. And they talk back most of the time.
Okay, so it's a video conferencing kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an audible one, like you can't speak to them. It's all on type chat, unless you're in the voice chat with them. But
so that's not something that I would likely want to use to publicize Merlin Public Media.
I mean, you absolutely could. There are plenty of musicians that go on there to get their music out there. There's plenty of podcasts. There's people that just go on there and do exactly what you and I are doing right now. They just do it live stream. And that's talk.
Can you record that?
You can, absolutely.
So if I did something like this with you on that program,
yes,
then I could save it and put it on my YouTube or the Facebook or.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's a great place to get exposure. They do stuff, a lot of the streamers will do stuff like rating too. And this is a huge help, especially for little people. Littler streamers, newer streamers.
I understand what you meant.
Yeah. So when we get done with our stream, especially like Kitten and I, and a lot of the ones from What the Flock Streaming, which is our streaming organization, is we'll find either other streamers from our team, or we'll find the smallest people in our division, in our game, and then we'll raid them, and we'll bring with us 10, 15, 20, hundreds of people. And it turns a small stream or somebody who's not used to having a lot of people into absolute chaos in a good way.
Well, and I remember when we were first talking about doing this, that you said, you're going to bring some people with you.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh no, I'm going to panic. I have more listeners.
Well, I should warn you, because part of the people that I have notified about this are the same people I work for now with Metalcore. So they've been let know your channel, and I've tweeted out about you, which means all of the people that I play with have seen it, including my stream team, the metalcore team, and etc.
Wow,
So,
thank you.
yes, absolutely. And I will continue to do so happily because this is definitely one of my favorite radio stations.
Well, it's been many things. Its first incarnation was classical music,
Mhm.
then classical music with some talk, and then I discovered these amazing things called DJ pools.
Okay.
And the first one I went was called IDJP.
Mhm.
And you go in and you subscribe monthly for, they start at $20 and they go up to 120, 150 bucks a month.
Okay.
And you download music. And depending on the pool, you can have, oldies, you can have blues, jazz, 19,465 variations of techno.
Dear Lord.
When you got gospel and Christian and country, and I started finding these and I started downloading all this music. I mean, I've got, half of a 4 terabyte drive filled with music at 128K MP3s.
Well done.
Okay. Probably hundreds of thousands of songs. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this shit? And if you go to straight radio station licensing,
Mhm.
the paperwork and the fees are insane.
Oh, my goodness, I can only imagine.
I am hosting, and I know you've heard of it, I'm hosting on a company called Live 365.
Oh, yes.
And the plan in that right now, it covers all of my licensing, and I have 1,500 total listening hours per month.
So,
Which, as young as I am, I've used about half of it at the most.
okay.
And as it grows, then I can go, up and pay more. But they cover my licensing. It's right there, all of it.
Bob is back.
They give you can, tell people download the Live 365 app, type in Merlin Public Media, take me anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is where I hope to do the other stations through, because I don't want to pay with the licensing paperwork bullshit.
Well, and I've been such a big supporter of Live 365, even all the way back into the 2008, 2009. They were one of my favorite radio stations because they played the music they said.
Yes.
They don't give you all this other crap. It's the music that they say is there, and that's what I like.
And the package I bought, I could have gotten it for a little less if I'd have let them put advertising in. And that's not what I want the station to be.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I want sponsors and mention them 6 times a day and enjoy the music.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's why I went with them, and I don't have to worry about a lot of things. I mean, I have to block the rest of the universe that's not the U.S., Canada, and the UK.
Boy.
But that took me about 40 minutes of checkboxes.
Is that really?
There's a lot of countries out there.
More than I ever thought.
Right.
Dusty.
And
Awesome.
it's
I really like
it's a great platform. Downtime? What downtime?
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't
Absolutely.
understand her panic.
I mean, I don't
6
think
months. I've not had I've not been off the air.
I love it.
That transition from programming on the server to streaming off of my laptop is instant.
I love it.
I'm using a DJ program called Mix, MIXXX.
Okay.
And everything's set up in there. And when I hit go live on the DJ software, it's there now.
I love it.
And it's when you're doing radio, timing is everything, and dead air is death.
Yes.
I mean, but I can when I was doing the interviews and stuff on the station, I could program them down to the second.
I love it.
And it just, strict timing or floating, strict timing. Crossfade, yes, it crossfades in, goes from the song it's playing, crossfades into, the start of the show, bang, done, clean.
Love it. Heck yeah.
So that's, shout out to those guys, man, because they've been good to me.
Amen. Well, I'm probably going to sway your opinion with this one, but we were talking about Twitch and whether or not you would fit in on there. And Twitch is another completely free to use.
Okay.
You need to download a little bit of, what do you call it? Apps. Just one app really is OBS, or it's
I've got it.
Online. Oh, you do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's all you need in a stream key, and it's completely free. And then once you get up to, I think it's 50 followers, 3 average chatters in your chat, and I think it's 40 hours of stream time, then you have the opportunity to become what's called an affiliate. And that's where they start paying you for their advertisements on your stream.
Hello.
Yeah. So, and then above that is a partner, but that's everybody's pushing for partner because that's when you can make the big money because you get more from advertising, etc. But it's a much harder one to reach. You need 50 average chatters. You need something like 2,000 followers. It's a much bigger goal to reach.
It's a goal, but yeah, don't plan on doing it next week.
Right. It takes time.
So here's a question for you, and you may or may not know the answer.
Okay.
If I divert my Live 365 audio stream to Twitch, am I still covered?
Anything that Live 365 covers will cover you on Twitch. You may get warnings about copyright infringement, but if you have the licenses, it's just a matter of talking to support and that gets washed out. So as far as that goes, yeah, you should be all covered, I believe. Now, I would suggest still reading through.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but I believe it would be covered, yes.
It's okay, sweetheart.
But that's pretty cool. I'm going to have to check that one out as well. Like I say, I've heard of it, but I never so much as even looked at it.
It really blew up fast. So it's one that even if you did look it up in the early days, it's night and day difference from what it was.
And there's a desktop app.
Yes, there is.
All right, then I'm going to have to check that out. This has been wonderfully educational for me thus far. That's really kind of cool. And you know what you haven't mentioned?
Oh, no.
No, it's not an oh, no. It's not an oh, no.
Well, that's my general answer.
Who are you talking to?
Just now?
Yeah, right now.
I said, well, I was talking to you. I said, that's just my general answer is.
Yeah, but you're talking to me.
Yeah, I'm talking to Merlin.
And Merlin is in front of a microphone.
Yes.
How weird is that?
I know. Like the last time you were in front of a microphone, it's because you haven't handed it to the actor yet.
Yeah.
But I love hearing that. I do. It always makes me happy to hear people do what they wanted to do. And I know this has always been a passion of yours. So it makes me absolutely ecstatic to be able to sit here and talk to you on this.
I've tried this kind of thing a couple of times. And, I'm a classical music guy first. Okay, fine. But you know what? Most of the world isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I still do, on Merlin Public Media, I do what I call classical overnight.
Yep.
And it's just, mellow, sleeping classical music from, I think 11 to 4 in the morning.
Okay.
And the day comes when I get the sponsor to do a classical station, then that'll go, and it'll all be what I call music from Merlin's vault. Most of the stuff that I play on there, well, all of the stuff I play on there is mine. I own this stuff.
I love it.
I listen to this stuff on my own time.
Okay.
It's my digital vault of music.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I've added from the DJ pools and stuff. And work with that, but what I download, with the possible exception of the country, is something that I listen to.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you hate country.
Well, I tried a country Sunday thing for about 5 months.
Okay.
Miserable failure.
It's getting to be a lost genre. It really
Yeah.
is.
But here, with the folk that live here, I kind of thought it would catch.
Right. In the more rural areas, it tends to be more popular, just in general. So I do get that. Unfortunately, the country that we hear today isn't the country that we're used to.
No, it's more like the folk of the 60s.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
That called that country, and then of course I grew up with Dad listening to Hank Sr., Hawkshaw, those guys, Patsy Cline.
Yeah.
And I rather like the newer stuff a bit better than that, but I'm really not a great fan of any of it.
Yeah. And I've drifted so far away. The music I listen to most nowadays, you're going to laugh, is sea shanties.
Really?
Really. I found a band called The Longest Johns, and I absolutely love their music. It's very folky. They're a folk band, but they do a lot of sea shanties, and they sing a lot a cappella sea shanty style. And they have a lot of original songs and a lot of the ancient songs, just old songs.
Oh, now that respect there.
Yes, like Wellerman. You've heard the Wellerman song, of course. Yes, they redo that one. They even did the 1,000-person Wellerman song, where they got 1,000 people right online just like this, and I'll help them sing it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're an amazing band, too. I like them a lot. But they don't use a lot of instruments. They've got a great sense of humor. They're gamers, too. Like, we see them on Twitch, since we're talking about... Yeah. They play Assassin's Creed on Twitch and Sea of Thieves, and we've actually come across them a couple of times on the game. So it's a lot of fun, and they're great people all around. So,
and that makes what I'm going to now, mostly personal listening, is what's called symphonic metal.
Oh yes.
Nightwish, Evanescence, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Beautiful sounds come out of that genre.
Oh, yeah. And then I've been doing, check these guys out if you can. They're called Heilung.
Okay.
Heilung, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
They are Norse, pagan musicians.
And they are incredible.
You know them?
I do.
There's no electronics on the stage short of microphones.
Right. They're amazing. I actually got on board with them through Danheim, Danheim, and he is a Norse throat singer.
Ooh.
And he did the music for the Vikings movie or television series.
I watched that. That was excellent.
It was. So he does the music for them, and just amazing sound.
Well, this is, I like when I can share back and forth, and this is what makes this, fun to me.
Heck yeah.
Is you've got information I don't have. We share stuff. We're basically what the name says. We're just talking shit. And whatever goes down, goes down. And, it's, my second guest tried to take it political.
Oh, no.
Didn't tell me he was going there. And I'm like, you know what, man? I will invite you back to do another show, but I'm burying this.
Yeah. That's actually one of my big rules, and you'll find that a lot on Twitch too, is people don't want political discussion. They don't want religious discussion. They're there to have fun. And
yeah, there you go. And that's it. We all have our stuff we have to do every day.
Yep.
But when we break, we want to break for something that is enjoyable.
Oh yeah. like all day at work, being I'm business analyst, I work with corporate people. I'm a corporate stuff job. Like I'm the happy-go-lucky guy at work. But you get me on my stream, and they need to have a XXX rating for my stream. We are terrible, terrible people. I have a couple people who jump in with me all the time, and one of them, his screen name is Full Metal Tater.
Oh, gee.
And oh God, yes. And we torture him relentlessly, and he just takes it. He's such a great sport about it. So.
Well, the very first episode of this show, and I waited until I could get this person on there, was my little brother. Okay. He's 40 something. Mm-hmm. And I waited, and he is, and has been for, oh hell, since before I moved to Arizona. He is a sports broadcaster.
Okay.
He's got, his color guy and his statistician, and he does high school. His love is football, but he does basketball, and he's been the voice of. I'm plugging you out there, Mark. He's been the voice of the Grove City College football team now for, I don't know, probably close to a decade, but he just can't swear.
Yep.
He said, I get myself in front of a microphone and my professional voice comes on and those words go away. Mm-hmm. And, okay. Bro. My little brother, like I said, he's a cool guy. He's, it's kind of difficult for us to talk sometimes because sports,
yeah.
Anything but that, please.
Right. Oh, yes. I have a few people like that. I have one who's a min-maxer. His name's Living Ivy or Living 4, and a really good friend of mine as well that I play with all the time. But he's a min-maxer, so he finds the best ways to get the highest advantage in every single game. And that's all he can talk about.
Okay. Day
in and day out. So yeah. I'm right there with you. I'm like you. I'm just here to have fun,
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I get those people, and it's sad when you get that. I actually started my career on Twitch too, with not cursing at all. And me, that's got to be hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh?
But I did I don't know, maybe a month of streams where I didn't curse, even the smallest curse word. And then I'm in a voice chat with some friends, and I let one slip by accident. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. And they're like, why? And I was like, well, you're live. I don't care. We can say fuck all fucking day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, shit. Let's do this.
Well, did I ever tell you about the beginning of all of the London Calling shows?
No, you didn't.
Okay, well, that was, I think the original show, London Calling, went for, 6-7 years, and then there was other add-ons. But I had this friend in town, and his name was Ace London, and he was massive LGBTQ plus activist, going back so far as having worked with Harvey Milk.
Oh, nice.
So he is in Bullhead City for God knows what reason.
Well, then.
And he wants to do a talk show.
Uh-huh.
So he contacts KTOX in Needles.
Okay.
And they're like, yeah, sure. Come on down and, do a couple hours. And he's like, okay. FCC warning, FCC warning, FCC warning, FCC final warning.
Right.
And he's like, I get worked up and I can't bite my tongue and they're taking me off the air and what can I do? And I'm like, and podcasts were kind of new back then. Mm-hmm. I said, well, there's this thing called a podcast and they don't have all the censorship rules and stuff. And he's like, can we do one? And I said, sure. And I got done with the conversation and started doing research.
Fair enough.
But that's how that all started. And, London Calling there was the second show was called the London Bridge, and it was a 20-something, a 30-something, and a 70-something gay guy looking at the world.
Fair enough.
So it was the generational bridge.
Yeah.
And it all went well. And, Ace passed, and he left me the rights to all of the shows, and I've given them to a couple LGBTQ plus archive groups.
Cool.
But, I went to start rebroadcasting, and I'm listening to that audio going, oh my God, Mike, the hell did you do? So I've had this is why I'm so slow in posting them, is I got to go back and clean up every one of those because the audio quality is straight up ass.
Fair enough.
I was so very happy at the time, but now it's just like I've done so much more. So I go through and I got it down to, I've got a stack of 10 programmed filters, and I just cue it up and drop in the filters and say save it. And, but it still takes a bit of time to go through them.
Oh, yes. And I understand that one as of recently because I took a crash course in those filters, compressors and noise gates and everything to set up mine and Kitten's sound, because I know my sound probably doesn't sound as good as it should because I'm on my headset, but I have a full professional microphone setup, camera setup that I use, and I sound much better on when I'm on Twitch. And I had to crash course that because we don't have all the fancy studio setup that some people do. I assume you don't either. I know you have your studio, but I don't know how long you've made that. But like, we've built studio walls in here to help produce the music and angles and lighting, and it's fun. But yeah, those compressors and stuff, that's a whole new art. So I respect.
and everybody, well, how do I? No, it's not math.
No,
it's ear.
Yes.
If you can't, find what you want to hear, what you want it to sound like, and make it that. Mm-hmm. There's no do this, do that. There's no hard and fast rules for audio.
Right. I find a basic build on how to start something, and then from there, I get into the quiet room. I get my monitor on so I can hear it back at myself, and away I go. And it's minute changes, minute.
So what camera? What do you got? Just because I'm a curious guy.
You're probably going to laugh at me because it's still a webcam. I'm using a Razer Kio, which it's a ring light and camera, high resolution. It goes much farther than what I use it for because my bandwidth can't quite handle it and need it in my system. But it's got the ring light on it. It has resolution, one of the highest on the market, and amazingly enough, it's a $60 camera.
Wow.
Yeah. It mounts right on top of my monitors here that I play in front of, and yeah, it's taken some time to get used to having it there, but
yeah.
Yeah,
the idea is generally not to look at it.
I mean, I try to look at it when I'm addressing my chat.
Okay, all right, then,
yeah. Back and forth. Yeah, I want them to feel like I'm talking to them because that's exactly what I'm doing. But when I'm playing the game, my eyes are dead ahead. And if you watch hard enough, you'll see I'm not looking at the camera. But I try to keep my camera in the same direction so that when I do respond, at least I'm facing them. And then I got, here's another brand. This is going to probably make you lose it. I bought a brand name Fine, F-I-F-I-N-E.
Okay.
And it's a microphone. It's a USB microphone.
Okay.
And I think I paid $30 for it. But it performs up there with the Toners and Marshalls and some of the better audio equipment of the world. And again, $30 Amazon, and it's amazing. I'll
Well,
have to get you all
my mic
these things.
over here is I don't know, it's at least a dozen years old. M Audio studio mic, and not is that it is a microphone designed for a studio, but it is a studio in a microphone.
Exactly.
And it plugs into a USB port. My headphones plug into the microphone,
There you go.
and it creates its own set of sub channels that I have to pull up for whatever project I'm working for. Right now, it's M Stereo 1 and M Stereo 2 is what I've got it set to do. And I've done voiceover recordings and all kinds of stuff on this little microphone, and it's got a good pickup and a good range. And I think I've got back in the day maybe $75 in it.
Nice.
And I've gotten 12 years out of it, and it's gotten more use since I started doing the radio than ever before.
Fair enough. Well, even the microphone I'm using, it's off of, I'm going to sound like a Razer commercial, but it's off of a Razer Naga, and I sent you the link to that already.
Yes, you did.
And I get
And it's wireless, and this is just the headset microphone, like off of any old over-the-ear headphones from the old days. And 2-channel at the headphone level so that you can set it in your computer to do 2 different channels and everything. And it's amazing.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. So I actually use that right on my stream. So I'm going back to my stream. Look, this is all I talk about. But I go back to there because I have one channel that I listen to my team on, and they have a channel so I can adjust their volume in the stream. And then another one where I hear my game sounds, where I can turn it way down so that the stream can actually hear what we're doing.
Very nice.
I learned a lot. Audio
cues in the game that once you learn them, they're important.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Especially like we go back to Metalcore or Mech Warrior Online. They'll tell you when missiles are incoming, or when you're nearing overheating, or when you lose armor in a section and you have to protect it. And all those are audibles. They're not visuals. So you got to have it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, a lot of the technology like that today, especially if you look into the gamers verse, is getting to be as good as the old XLR stuff. And you still see a lot of XLR show up in streaming too. So,
sure.
Especially with the voiceover stuff that they do now, they can do instant recordings from somebody in their voice chat and play it back in voice tones, and they can change their own voice on the fly. And yeah, the
technology is wonderful.
It is. It's expensive, but it's wonderful.
Is that. Well, my friend, I need to wrap this up so that I can go back to my oxygen. Let's do this again, and anytime. Bring wifey in, as long as you're on separate computers.
Oh yeah, she streams right here in the same room, but she's got another computer that's about 6 feet away from me.
Yeah, the thing about Skype is 2 people on one microphone, it gets ugly fast.
Oh yeah, no, you won't have to worry about that. She has her toner microphone that she uses, so it's a completely separate unit.
This is great. It has been such a pleasure catching up with you and learning.
Pleasure has been mine, for sure.
Well, then let's call it a night, and I will talk to you again soon.
Very soon. Thank you, sir.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye, wifey.
She says goodbye.